My friends, it is the Doctor in the X-Lair, Dr. Remy LeBeau that is, and I'm here to cure you of all the terrible illnesses that you've been dealing with as a result of not having enough statue videos in your life. Specifically, statue videos of the most amazing X-Men characters ever to be created. Here we have a very special statue. You may think that you've seen her before because she is in fact the third version of this Bowen Designs statue, which I have featured in two other videos. Those other videos were on X Factor Jean Grey and the Dark Phoenix. And of course, most of you recognize that this is the Green Phoenix, the good Phoenix. Jean before she went freaking crazy, wanting to just kill and destroy, and probably have a lot of like passionate, bow bow bow, bow chicka bow bow, some of that. Um, Before she went dark, this is Light Phoenix, I guess you could call her. This is Jean Grey before all the madness that kind of led to her death, and then the revelation that she wasn't dead, and then her introduction into X Factor, which then led to that other really cool statue that I featured a couple of weeks ago, or will feature. It depends on when I post this video. Um, let's check out some information from the base in order to give you a little more insight into the production of this little beauty. So she was produced in 2000. That's quite a bit of time ago, 13 years. Sculpted by Mark Newman. As we all know, Mark Newman sculpted the Dark Phoenix and the X Factor Jean Grey statue as well. There were 4,000 of these made. This is 1,284 of 4,000. Let's give her a little twirl here so you can get a nice look at all the beautiful aspects of this statue. I'm sure some of you are noticing that she's pretty much identical to the Dark Phoenix. Some of the colors are different. Obviously, the base is different. But beyond that, this is the Dark Phoenix statue that you guys are familiar with, either just having already been familiar with her or having seen my video. Um, what's really great about the variant base of this statue versus the Dark Phoenix statue is that A, of course, it's different, and B, it represents her first appearance in, I'm pretty sure it's Uncanny X-Men number 101, in which she emerges from the water after having assisted in guiding a space shuttle into the New York harbor and saving all the X-Men. She emerges from that as the Phoenix. And there was actually a really great moment in the '90s cartoon, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with, in which it was that exact same story. Obviously, the context in which it was presented was different. It was like the Jim Lee era, like X-Men team. But that aside, it was essentially the same stories that we saw in the comics, and it was really great, like seeing her emerge from the water, like in, you know, in 24 frames per second, depending on how many frames per second they used for the cartoon. But just watching that event occur like in motion rather than like in a comic book representation, that was really awesome. And actually, that was my first introduction into. Actually, no, it wasn't. I had read some graphic novels that compiled all those issues, the original Phoenix Saga and then the Dark Phoenix Saga. So, which the Phoenix Saga wasn't exactly a saga. It was more like just this long story that sort of went on for I don't know, maybe like 30 issues or something. Yeah, something along those lines. And then of course the eventual Dark Phoenix Saga, the actual Dark Phoenix Saga, which was called the Dark Phoenix Saga, which led to her just going berserk. Poor Genie, poor supposed Genie. Before, you know, there was some retcon that occurred that sort of changed, the our perception of what had happened, and sort of allowed her to reemerge. So again, that whole spiel was basically meant to highlight the base, which is like this very cool translucent sort of splash of water that that is meant to sort of capture the moment that she emerges from the water, New York Harbor, and there's just water going everywhere, and it pretty much reflects the design um, of the cover of Uncanny X-Men 101, which has her coming out as well. So kudos to Randy Bowen for being such a um, so so exact in trying to capture not only the design of the character but also the context in which the character exists, and sort of you know uh, adding sort of more of like a visceral dimension to the statue, where you look at her and she immediately evokes not only awesome emotions, but the connection that us fans have to like those particular stories, and that this particular story in particular. Um, beyond that, the beyond the very incredible base, uh, Jean is essentially exactly the same as the Dark Phoenix statue, and you can see I took a lot of close-ups of her, maybe too many, maybe not enough, on my blog. So just scroll down there and you can check out some close-ups of the various things, including the base and just various elements of the costume, etc. But essentially, it's the same. So the boots and the sash are pretty much identical. And then I think it's essentially just a repaint from that point forward. Just going up. Like the red parts are now green, but it's the same sculpt. And then the fire symbol, I mean the phoenix symbol is yellow, which is I think the same as it was in the Dark Phoenix statue. And I think the sort of the neckline and the area around the emblem. What's up, Phoenix Power? Is black, and I think that's the same as it is in the other statue, and the gloves are like gold, and that's the same as it is in the other statue. So that's pretty much the same. The face is pretty much the same, even though for some reason, as I was taking the close-ups, I kind of felt like good Jean. I felt like a good Jean vibe from like just getting close to her, and so, but I'm pretty sure it's the exact same face as the Dark Phoenix statue. So it's really strange that I would get that effect, and maybe it's just because it's the costume, and I understand sort of the significance of the green costume versus the red costume. But for some reason, the face just evoked not like an evil sort of like evil intentions or grimace. It just looked more like just kind of like pleasant Jean, like enjoying like just being powerful, but still having like good intentions, and wanting everything to work out well for her and the X-Men, because that's who Jean is and that's what she wants. She's just a great all-around person. Poor Jean is now dead, as we all know, permanently, finally, after having been resurrected. She finally met her end, and she hasn't been back. It's been actually interesting. It's been maybe like almost 10 years, I think, roughly, and she hasn't come back. Even though in the recent stories and all new X-Men, where Brian Michael Bendis has brought the original five X-Men from the 1960s or whatever into the present to sort of try to talk Scott down from like his like what I guess what Beast might consider like his madness. But there's I'm not going to go into all that. But the point is that there is a Jean Grey now alive in the current continuity of the comics in the present of Earth 616, the main Marvel Universe sort of world that all the characters live in, all the classic characters live in that are still alive today. But it's the younger Jean, so it's an interesting situation because we're seeing the original five X-Men reacting to what they're learning about what's going to happen to them in the future, and that's sort of changing them. And so we don't know we don't know what's going to happen now. We don't know what's going to happen with these characters, both in the present, um, in the past when they return, and the sort of the implications to the time stream as a result of them being in the present. So it's actually really interesting. I'm kind of at the edge of my seat. I'm loving what's happening. I'm really loving all new X-Men and Uncanny X-Men. So I'm just happy to have Jean back. I don't necessarily want them to resurrect her because I kind of feel that would be kind of gimmicky. Like it's happened already once. To do it again, I don't know. It's like sometimes you just gotta kill characters off and just leave them dead and move on, and just and sort of allow the significance of their death to mean something. You know, not just mean something temporarily. I think it's important for like the legitimacy of Marvel stories and for the maintenance of like the loyalty, the fan loyalty to the characters and the stories, like for Marvel to be dedicated to those big moves that they make. So I hope that, I like them playing with the time stream. I like time travel, and I like bringing, if you're gonna bring a previous version of a character into the present, cool, I'm down with that. And I'm also okay with like alternate dimension versions of characters coming into the world. I was actually kind of hoping that the Jean from the Age of Apocalypse would come into the regular Earth 616 dimension. I think that would have been really interesting, and her sort of becoming a permanent fixture. There was a story in Uncanny X-Men Volume 1, the Dark Angel Saga, which I think went like 9 issues or something, and I think somewhere in the middle, the characters went into the Age of Apocalypse, and you know, uh, Logan Wolverine encounters Jean, and obviously it's like a very sort of powerful moment because Jean's dead in the normal world. He's in love with her, so um, and that story was kind of powerful. I mean, it was powerful for a lot of reasons, but those moments were actually pretty powerful themselves, and I thought that could have been carried on in the regular universe throughout the regular X books, and it would have sort of been interesting, and it would have kept me, very engaged. But I'm liking the way it's going. Like I said, I'm liking the way it's going. So more power to them. All right, so this statue being, let's talk about the statue, right? Because that's what this video is about. It's so hard to not get on tangents when talking about Jean Grey because she is such an important character in the Marvel universe. Um, but So this statue is 10 years, 13 years old actually at this point. She there's 4,000 of them that were made, but it's still one of those statues that I think people really love because people really love the Phoenix. Like, people love the Dark Phoenix. People love the Phoenix. It's a classic version of Jean. It's a classic X-Men story. So people have scooped these up and they have them in their permanent collection. So I think if you want to find one, it's going to go for $300 or $400. I think. I haven't tried to find one in a while. I bought this one maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, and I think that's how much I paid, like 300 or 350 or something along those lines. Um, she's a popular character, and it's a really nice statue actually. Um, I do stand behind what I said in the Dark Phoenix video, in which I basically made the claim that was the best version of this statue because obviously these are variant. There's 3 variants of it. The Dark Phoenix statue is the best version of this statue, but this is a close second. Definitely a close second. She's beautiful, and I don't know. There's something about the green and the yellow and the red that just works really well, and just I don't know. I guess any Jean statue works really well, and she's just there's something really powerful about an X fan's connection to Jean. I don't know what it is. She's awesome. Great statue. People love her. Difficult to scoop her up. This is actually one of my favorite covers from the 90s. This is Uncanny X-Men 354. It's a variant cover. Whoopsie. It's a variant cover of this issue, and it was designed by Mr. I am just all over the place, ruining things today. Mr. Chris Bacalo, very cool X-Men artist who actually, this was like one of his first issues, I think, on the title. Like Joe Mad had been drawing it up until that point, and then Chris Bacalo took over, and then there was like this really interesting story arc in which Jean started manifesting this costume again. She got back to the Phoenix look, and I don't really remember how that sort of played out, like what that led to, but I remember it being an interesting storyline, and it did lead to this very cool cover. and actually a lot of like cool sort of modern in terms of the 90s designs of Jean wearing the Phoenix outfit, which is like classic, um, just a classic version of Miss Gray. And beyond that, obviously we've seen Phoenix in a variety of things. I mentioned the cartoon already. I really love the '90s cartoon storyline with Jean and the Phoenix, and just the first 5 episode Phoenix saga, uh, which I think I actually like better than the 4 episode Dark Phoenix saga. I really loved it. Like it had, you know, introducing the Phoenix during that space shuttle mission that led to her like taking on the Force and then emerging from the water, and then from there we had the introduction of the Shi'ar and Gladiator and Deken and Lilandra, and then they went to Corsair and the Starjammers. Corsair being the father of Scott Summers, so that introduced like his sort of backstory and like started to sort of in the cartoon explain um, sort of Scott's origin, which was cool, and then of course the Mcron crystal, and then Deken like getting the power of the Mcron crystal and like breaking it. I mean, it was just like really awesome. Like the animation was really of high quality and the storytelling was great. And I have to say that's probably the best 5 episodes of that entire series. So kudos. And then of course I'm not going to talk about the movies. I already mentioned that in the Dark Phoenix video. It's just kind of disappointing, kind of disappointing. But I have hopes. I have I have high hopes for what Bryan Singer might eventually do with the series. Hopefully, he'll not only create Days of Future Past, the movie coming up in 2014, which is going to be spectacular. I know it. Can't wait, Bryan Singer. But beyond that, maybe hopefully he'll continue with the series and maybe he'll delve back into the Phoenix a bit and maybe do a little fixing in regards to how she was portrayed in the films. And if not, hopefully eventually Marvel will take back the X-Men, uh, the rights to X-Men to produce X-Men. Meaning Marvel and Disney will be producing X-Men movies, and they'll just reboot them, and they hopefully will eventually do a Phoenix and a Dark Phoenix saga, which will sort of just be mind blowing and eye candy and just everything that us X fans would want from a film that deals with that content. Hopefully, fingers crossed. All right, folks. Thank you so much for checking out my video. Let's give her one last twirl. Again, if you are looking to get some close-up views of her, you can check out my blog, and there will be a lot of close-ups of the various aspects of this statue, and hopefully this is enough to sort of demonstrate how cool she is and how worthwhile she is to have. So hopefully I did the trick with this video. One last thing to mention, Sideshow Collectibles, right now it's May of 2013. Sideshow Collectibles has hinted that they're going to make a 1/4 scale Phoenix and Dark Phoenix comiquette. I saw drawings of it. I'm pretty sure Mark Brooks drew the design. If they stay true to the design and sculpt it in the way that they sculpted like maybe their Poison Ivy comiquette, which is being released soon, which is amazing, there could be a potential like another Jean as the Phoenix gem statue out like in the next year or two, and that would just be spectacular, and it would make my year. It would. It would make my year. Sideshow Collectibles, please, please hit it out of the park. That would be so spectacular. All right, folks. Thank you again for checking out all my content. I really appreciate it. My blog is X-Men Statues of Future Past.blogspot.com. My YouTube channel is Dr. Remy LeBeau's X-Lair. And as always, X in the box because ain't nobody checking me. I'll catch you all very soon. Take care and bye-bye.